Good. All right, please give a warm welcome to our Vice Presidential candidate, Rose. Your time starts now, thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening everyone, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here today. My name is Rose Crame and I'm a rising junior with a major in Media and Communication Studies, and I have a minor in entrepreneurship. I'm one of your current co-graphic designers, the former D6 proxy, and your former D6 Director of Public Relations, and I also serve as a designer for the Student Events Board, another UMBC organization known as SEB, and I'm here today running to become your next FASA Vice President for the 2023-2024 term. So before I ramble on about my plans for the future and why you should vote for me and not abstain, I'd like to take some time and explain why I'm even here to begin with. Okay, so it's not for my resume and it's not for my LinkedIn, even though it's really good. It was because someone believed in my potential, and it was sometime in the summer of 2021 when the current president, Ina Kino, messaged me asking if I was interested on being in an e-board. And at the time, I was really confused to how she even got my phone number. But being an overly ambitious freshman, I said yes. And the truth was, I didn't know what an e-board was or what a D6 proxy was even supposed to do. All I know is that I filled out a Google form, and a few days later, I got a DM from Iceman Abril. That very same night, I joined the D6 representatives, Adam and Maggie, in a 6-hour-long Zoom meeting for D6. So coming into UMBC with an established group like FASA gave me the confidence to just try new things like my minor, or to try to meet new people through this organization. I remember my first day, people had already recognized me because of who I was on e-board, and there was a sense of warmth from that. These strangers turned into friends, turned into family, and it seems surreal that I'm already here running for vice president when at times I still feel like the girl who didn't know how to explain what D6 was until her representatives told her. So that's the thing about FASA, the way we start and the way we end with FASA is family, but we also apply that belief with everything in between. Family is who you hold in the highest regard and who you love through thick and thin, and who you feel nothing but unwavering happiness for when you feel their presence. The idea of family to me is so important in this vice presidential role, as this role focuses on the internal aspects of FASA, such as retention and delegation. How do we meet new people and help them find their place among us? The main project that the VP embarks on is the Ate Kuya Adding program, that's more commonly known as AKA. This program establishes close relationships between big and little, mentor-mentee, and then somewhere along that way, that becomes a beautiful friendship. I can truly say that I found this not only with my big Kristen, but with my little Chloe, but in my lineage, the Pookies. If elected as your vice president, I plan to continue making AKA a program that helps people find their matches, as well as making it accessible to all people who would like to do it. That means keeping this program hybrid and providing commuter students an online portion so they may have a way to participate. Another thing I'd like to bring back are AKA challenges, where in the following weeks, bigs, littles, and lineages in general are encouraged to hang out and bond in family-friendly competition with a prize at the end. Following my predecessor, Tulip, I'm also going to continue AKA in the spring so that people who join later on and would like to also find their big and little may be able to do so. Besides AKA, I mentioned earlier that the Vice President has rules regarding delegation. Something people don't see behind the scenes is how many spreadsheets and folders and late-night calls there are in order to have a successful event. As Vice President, I'd like to implement a council system that will allow for our general body to have more participation in our biggest events, such as semi or sporting events. This delegation of roles will give general body responsibilities and help them utilize their unique skill sets in how they can contribute. For example, I'd like to have a council that focuses on dance, a choreographer council that will be allowed to join our EBMs and be kept up to date about events while given the leniency to not have the full responsibilities of an e-board member. The same can go for sports and pistahan, and the following elected members would like to collaborate with me on this moving forward. With this delegation, it will allow for our e-board to not be overwhelmed or stressed, and even though we all understand that FASA is a big responsibility going into this, I think I can speak for myself and others that we can find ourselves oversaturated with attempting to do too much. I want us to all love what we do, but be able to have other priorities such as school, work, or our families, and I want us to continue to be and I want to continue the e-board bonding that Ina and Tulip have fostered through appreciation activities and just be there to be a pillar on which people can lean on. A hesitation I had for running for vice president is uncertainty that I may not be here physically during the spring semester because of my required studied abroad program. My solution as of now is to install vice president proxy while I'm abroad. Being abroad will not keep me away from my position, but rather have me doing it in a different way. Also to support this, it's not the first time and only time I've worked on a team internationally. I've managed a team of international writers, designers, and editors during the COVID era, and it was a successful team that managed to come together collaboratively. While I'd like for someone to be physically there in my place, I won't let go of my responsibilities regarding logistic work, as that's something I can still do an ocean away. Speaking of something that's an ocean away, that's our aspect of service. Service is something so crucial to a cultural organization, and philanthropy is something we really must focus on more. Giving back to the community that raised so many of us can help us grow and give back, because in all truthfulness, we are all in a place of privilege. But buying boxes can just be the start, as me and Adam in the future both want to collaborate in finding more aspects of service. We look forward to communicating with our future culture representative in order to do so. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't believe in my potential as Ina had on that fateful day. I have grown in my skills in management, flexibility, and compassion, and I know that this is a role I'm prepared to take moving forward. I still want to thank my D6 team because I wouldn't be in FASA without the care of cats that has provided me, and I want to thank my lineage, but especially my big and little, who from the very beginning knew that this was a position that I'd be earned for. And I want to thank Tulip, because apparently we share a motive when it comes to names, because we're both floral, but here I am a year later trying to take the role that she had the year previously. So I also want to thank Ruben, Shem, and Marisha, who drive me to school, and I want to thank FASA for believing in me, and for allowing me to be such a vital part of this community for so long. Thank you, FASA, and my name is Rose Crame, and once again, I am running to be, and I'm very humbled to be, running for your Vice President for the 2023-2024 term.
Thank you, Rose. You have 10 minutes for your Q&A portion, and we will begin with Tulip asking you 2 questions, and look at me if you'd like to join the queue. Thank you very much.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Tulip.
My first question for you is, what would you do if you were another member of the presidential cabinet, had different management or organizational strategies?
Okay, thank you for that question. I'm currently taking a management class, and we have talked about what it's like to work with different leaders who have different management skills and organization systems. So for that, I would have to talk to the people within the cabinet themselves in order to find a compromise, because we can't just all go with one person's ideas and utilize that to the fullest extent, because that's not utilizing it to the full extent. We have to find a compromise that will let people have a voice and have a say, and let the perspectives and leadership be shown throughout.